This year I feel a louder voice saying this could be your year. I'm more prepared, and I just hope it's going to align in the good way that I'm going to come through at the very end.
I guess with all the winning and all the matches that you have behind, and the experience is building up, and you're starting to feel that you belong out there, and then you want to be a top player, that means you need to be on the top of your game.
I think for any athlete it's incredible to walk into Madison Square Garden. I hope we can put on a great match, a great show.
Definitely one of my biggest events that I've ever done. To be able to play on such a stage and on such a day. Events like that don't come around very often.
My confidence has gone up a lot. It's really going to take a special performance by my opponent. I know I have a certain base now that it's going to be hard to crack.
Keep knocking on the door every time I want to enter a room, but at some point I don't think I'm going to knock anymore. I'm going to crash it.
Madison Square Garden is rocking because Roger Federer is back in the city where he won his 5 U.S. Open titles. Take on shotmaker Grigor Dimitrov, the BNP Paribas Showdown. Let's meet both players right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the tennis stars for tonight's second Showdown match. He is playing the BNP Paribas Showdown at Madison Square Garden for the 3rd time. He has won a record 17 Grand Slams, made up of a staggering 7 Wimbledons, 5 U.S. Opens, 4 Australian Opens, and 1 French Open. 10 days ago, he won his 84th career title, and this year became only the 3rd man to win 1,000 or more matches. He is an Olympic gold medalist, and last year helped steer Switzerland to its first ever Davis Cup by BNP Paribas Championship. He held the world #1 ranking for a record-breaking 302 weeks. Please welcome, from Switzerland, Roger Federer. This player is without a doubt one of the most exciting young talents in world tennis. His right-handed game is handled with style. His slice backhand, one of the best in tennis, and his all-court ability is a thrill to watch. Last year was a breakthrough year when he reached the semis of a major for the first time, achieving that at Wimbledon, and he also made the quarters of the Australian Open. He has 4 career titles, and in 2014 achieved a rare feat by winning 3 titles on 3 different surfaces. He reached a career-high ranking of 8. Please welcome, from Bulgaria, Grigor Dimitrov.
The all-time Grand Slam champion against the young players so often compared to him. Federer and Dimitrov, it's the showcase match of the 2015 BNP Paribas Showdown, part of World Tennis Day here at Madison Square Garden. And welcome to our ESPN2 coverage. Chris Fowler and Patrick McEnroe in your hometown, yes, far above where the Rangers and the Knicks usually play here. World Tennis Day is exciting. Around the globe, they're trying to grow and celebrate the sport. USTA very involved with programs throughout the month here in this country, and this is a big part of it tonight.
Oh, absolutely. March is sort of when we kick off the season in this country for tennis. A couple of big outdoor tournaments coming up for us here at ESPN with Indian Wells in Miami. But this is the place where, rock stars are made. And Roger Federer is still the biggest rock star in all of tennis. And for the really first time for Grigor Dimitrov, he gets to play with the big boy on the big stage here in New York. So it should be a lot of fun tonight.
Grigor knows that he's not the main star here tonight, but he sounded determined yesterday because unlike Federer, who comes in here riding a wave of confidence, beating Djokovic in Dubai, Grigor played a terrible final set in Acapulco. And as these guys head to Indian Wells right after this match, he wants to put on a good show tonight, get his confidence back with the two Masters events coming up.
Well, this is certainly the part of the season where I think Dimitrov can make some hay, because it's been a pretty disappointing start for the year for him, really for Federer as well, losing early at the Australian Open. But as you said, Chris, getting it back together quickly to win Dubai, beat Djokovic there. But this is, I think, an opportunity for Dimitrov, obviously, to show his stuff at the Garden against his idol in Roger Federer, but also maybe another step toward that progression toward becoming a top player. We've been waiting for it. He's knocking on the door right now. Can he break through this year?
Meanwhile, Roger talked about hearing that positive voice inside his head. His fans certainly hope that it means big things in 2015. Of course, Roger winning 13 majors in a little more than 3 years out of his 12 finals. But in the last 20 majors, just the one slam title. Wimbledon 2012, and lost a couple of finals. He did beat an in-form Djokovic, though, for his 7th title in Dubai and his 20th win over Novak. Djokovic, Patrick, I thought outplayed him for a lot of this match, but Roger was so clutch in the big points on serve.
Yeah, he broke twice on 2 break-point chances in the match. Djokovic was 0 for 7 on his opportunities. But what Federer said, as you look at match point here, another big serve set it up, was that Federer felt like he played the type of tennis he wants to play. Aggressive, shot-making, going for his shots. He didn't have that against Seppi in Australia. He's not really sure why. But to him, it doesn't matter why. He's back playing his A game again, and certainly looking forward to this part of the season. He's always played well at this time of year in the U.S.
After Indian Wells, he will skip Miami, take some time off. Of course, said the other day that if he had to pick just one title this year, it would be Wimbledon, of course, getting to that mark of 18 majors. And you think it's not out of his reach at all?
No, absolutely it's not. I mean, there's still not that many guys that can realistically win Wimbledon. I happen to think this guy is one of them, in Dimitrov, who had his best performance at a major last year at Wimbledon. But Roger, look, if you beat Djokovic in straight sets on an outdoor hard court, I know it was quick conditions in Dubai, but that tells you that you certainly, absolutely can still win a major. Obviously, the best of 5 still a factor for Roger. He's going to be 34 soon, but he's still number 2 in the world. And we like to say in tennis, Chris, the rankings don't lie.
So we're looking forward to plenty of shot making here tonight. Federer and Dimitrov on World Tennis Day at the Garden.
The 2015 BNP Paribas Showdown is brought to you by BNP Paribas, the bank for a changing world. YouthTennis.com. Get your family playing. Tennis events are happening near you. Visit YouthTennis.com. And World Tennis Day, the global celebration of tennis. Get out and play.
The Garden is very unfamiliar footing for Grigor Dimitrov. For Roger Federer, very familiar. He defeated Pete Sampras in this event about 7 years ago, then lost an exhibition to Andy Roddick a few years ago, so his 3rd time in this event. Joe Fernandez courtside with a very special guest. MJ?
Thanks, Chris. With Johnny Filion, the CEO of BNP Paribas North America. Johnny, BNP Paribas has been sponsoring tennis for over 40 years now. What has it been about this partnership that's been so effective for both parties?
Well, you know, Marie-Jo, the value of tennis very much parallel the value of the bank. It's about teamwork, it's about individual performance, sportsmanship, dedication. Speaking of dedication, the bank has been very dedicated to tennis over the decades through the challenging time as well. And we value this commitment just as we value our clients, employees, and shareholders. Sponsoring tennis provides us with this unique opportunity to host some of the very best athletes in the world, like tonight. But, you know, beyond professional tournaments, the bank supports very much, the tennis across all, segments, including wheelchair tennis, including family clubs, where the core action every day takes place. And I would like to mention that, tonight's event, it's only one of many tennis events the bank supports across the globe. We sponsor the Davis Cup, the Fed Cup, the French Open in Paris, and closer to home, we've been a long-time sponsor of the Bank of the West Classic, and obviously the BNP Paribas Open in Indian Wells, which started actually this week.
Incredible. I mean, what a huge support for the sport of tennis. And talk a little bit about this event, how it's grown. What has that been like for you to see this event get to this stature?
Well, it's been fantastic, and it's getting better and better every year. There is so much energy here. It's just a privilege to be able to host such a wonderful event at the Garden. I'm so excited to see Federer and Dimitrov play, as well as, witnessing the showdown between Gabriela and Monica. By the way, just as they did 25 years ago in the very same venue. For the bank, for us, for BNP Paribas, it's a wonderful opportunity to get together as a bank, as a global brand, and obviously with our clients, our lifeblood, but as importantly, with the fans here in New York and watching at home, watching from home, thanks to ESPN, by the way. Thank you.
Well, it's a special night. Thank you for all your support and everything you do for tennis.
Thank you for having us. It's always a pleasure.
All right, thanks. Back up to you, Chris.
All right, merci beaucoup, Johnny. And we're set to go. You tucked right down to first ball here.
Why not? Made our job's a lot easier, Chris. Yeah, we just sit back and chill out.
And we'll see the Federer serve to open this BNP Paribas Showdown. And he arrives with tremendous confidence in this stroke off that title in Dubai. What's your sense of how this gritty indoor court will play tonight with these two guys?
I was watching, both of us were out there watching these guys warm up a couple hours ago, Chris, and it seems to me to be a pretty medium speed ball, not getting up too high. So I think both guys really use that slice effectively. Always easier to win quick points on the serve indoors without the elements of the wind and the sun. That's pretty sweet. By the way, Federer went straight from Dubai out to California, settled the family out there. He's actually spent a couple of days out at our USGA training center out in Carson in Southern Cal, close to LA. And then just flew back just to come back for this event, and we'll head right back out to the desert to get ready for that tournament.
Yeah, the family, especially the four young ones, hit with some serious jet lag from Dubai to California.
Yeah, that'll do it to you.
Roger making the business trip to New York. They've met 3 times. The first 2 head-to-heads were in Roger's home tournament in Basel, and that was actually a pretty tight first meeting between the two. Dimitrov had set points to force a final set before Federer won it, but you can see that Roger has not lost a set. And in Brisbane in the semis, he dusted him 2-2 this year. So each of the 3 meetings getting more lopsided in Federer's favor. That's off the that's off the bottom of this big screen. Grigor is 23 years old. We talked about his breakthrough at the majors last year, quarters and then semis. But round of 16 at the 2 hard court majors after Wimbledon, which is a bit disappointing, although the loss to Murray in Melbourne was a tough one. Understandable.
Yeah, that was one of the better matches of the tournament. Very physical match that was. Very athletic play from both players.
Talk to Grigor, Patrick, about coming here after the really embarrassing 6-love final set loss to Ryan Harrison. The American played some good tennis in Acapulco, but no way in 3 lifetimes should Dimitrov ever lose a 6-love set to Ryan Harrison on a hard court. And so it's been a tough couple of weeks. His coach, Roger Rashid, who's not here, was fired up about it and wanted Dimitrov to be disappointed and do some soul searching after that loss. even though it's an exhibition, Grigor said that tonight it held some importance for him based on that deflating loss in Acapulco.
Absolutely. It's a big deal to come out and be the headliner along with Federer, the Garden in New York. Show you belong and show you deserve this opportunity.
You get a chance, Patrick, to visit with the players throughout this match. We'll hear from Roger right after this game. Mary Jo courtside. Hope she doesn't catch Roger by surprise.
On the changeover. I like that. That's some of the ability there of Dimitrov, to step in, take the ball early, and just absolutely knife a volley there.
Oh, it's a sweet forehand on the run. Wow. You said there'd be some shot making.
That I wasn't going out on a limb. These two guys. That was a brilliant shot.
A Sampras-like leaping smash.
We go for a little showtime early. Takes this out of the air.
There's Dimitrov, 3 break chances here.
Gonna have to talk to Roger after he gets broken at love. Mary Jo better be ready.
What a shot!
Unreal!
On the run, Dimitrov flicks it in the corner to break Roger at love. This is special.
Good luck, Mary Jo, in this interview right now with Roger. That was an unbelievable. Look at that shot. He was completely in the corner there.
Let's see what Roger has to say about that game and that shot from his opponent. Mary Jo?
All right, this is the first, Roger. 3 games in. Grigor's first time in the Garden. He plays a game like that. What are your thoughts at being down early break?
Yeah, bad moment to do an interview, I'd say. Yeah, he played the best return game. So it's just about staying calm and getting some returns back in play. We're still in the beginning stages where you're looking for rhythm, but it's hard because Grigor is playing well and hitting the ball hard, so we'll see now.
Now, this is your 3rd time playing in Madison Square Garden. You started off playing one of your idols, Pete Sampras. Then you played your contemporary, Andy Roddick, and now the new generation in Grigor. What has it been like for you to go through all these generations?
Oh, it's been amazing. I really enjoyed every time I've come out here. I mean, Madison Square Garden is a unique place to play, clearly. And then, playing the future generation, and obviously Grigor is going to be part of the future generation for years to come, for the next, 5 to 10 years. So it's nice showing him the Garden, I guess, that he's been invited and that tennis and the Garden believes in showcasing new talents.
All right, good luck trying to get the break back.
Yeah, exactly, thank you.
Back to you, Chris.
I like the wrinkle of talking to players and they sit down.
Fun.
I don't think there's a good chance we're going to incorporate that in tour events.
I'm not sure Wimbledon's going to go for that, but good try.
Mary Jo talking about Roger's 3 matches here. Pete Sampras, who had been retired about 5 years, served for that match.
That's right.
Set against Roger, and got a little tight, as you might understand, because he hadn't played in a while, and Roger was able to win that in the tiebreak, and then Roddick got him in straight sets the second time. There's that generation that referenced.
Both these 3 young guys had some big results last year. Of course, Nishikori reaching the U.S. Open final. He's had the best start to this year. He's been terrific, 16-3 so far in the year. Again, a little bit of a slow start for Dimitrov this year. I think he's going to pick up his game, I have a feeling, this time of year, these hard court events. And he plays well on clay as well.
Two of those young guys, Raonic and Nishikori, just met in the Davis Cup. Milos was able to get the win as Canada got past Japan. But I think the Dimitrov camp, Rashid, etc., really expects him to make a nice little move here in the spring to get some consistency. Third round last year. At both Indian Wells and Miami, but
what a shot there. Well, that's what he needs, Chris. He needs that consistency. He needs that, you know, if there's one thing over the years that you wonder a little bit about Dimitrov, it's his toughness. Just how tough is he? You know he's got the shots. He's obviously worked hard physically on his fitness. He's gotten stronger. His serve's gotten a bit bigger. Does he have that toughness week in, week out? That sort of mean streak.
That locker room respect that Rashid seems to think is so important.
That's the 1-2 punch that obviously over the years for Federer has been his bread and butter. The good quality first serve followed up by the aggressive forehand. Dimitrov has that ability as well.
Dimitrov backs up the break and leads 3-1. NBA Wednesday presented by State Farm. A couple of Western Conference games with major playoff implications. 7:30 Eastern. Kia NBA Countdown tees it up. Then the Clippers and the Thunder, followed by the Houston Rockets and the Trailblazers.
Solid doubleheader there. That's going to be some sweet playoff matchups out west, especially. Unfortunately, the team that plays here at the Garden will not exactly be a factor.
They were out of it in December.
Was it that late?
Talking about playing a guy that's so often compared to him. Dimitrov had the nickname Baby Fed when he came along, of course, and didn't really like the nickname. And in Grigor's view, shank off the Jumbotron. He never really tried to copy Roger, he claims. Sampras was his idol. He says he took things from different guys. People who watched him come along as a junior might dispute that. Well, but he never liked the nickname Baby Fed.
Well, that I can understand. But all I can tell you is what Mr. Federer says, which was his first hit with him when he was about 16. He said he was shocked. He's shocked at the moment that he was about to go down a double break potentially. That's shocked at how eerily similar he looked. Roger could use a couple of first serves here. Actually, as I look at the numbers, his first serve percentage is actually pretty good. He's just been coming back. 83%. That shot, another brilliant shot on the run. Roger says, wait a second, you get the memo here.
Dimitrov is flying around this court up a double break now, 4-1 against Federer. He's never played a set like this against Roger before. finally some spring-like weather after some brutal weeks of winter here in New York. Grigor Dimitrov, far less experienced player in these exhibitions, and the guy who'd never been in the Garden before, off to a very fast start, up 2 breaks on Federer.
Well, as Roger said in our on-court interview, which we don't say that, so by the way, we will interview Grigor as well in the second set. And it was he was impressed with how hard Dimitrov is hitting the ball. That's why we see, I think, some of the mishits from Roger. And then he gets that as well.
It's always interesting to see.
Look, it's like, sorry. I mean, Roger's like, listen, you keep this up, yeah, I'm not going to be playing too many more exos with you.
Keep this up. You won't let him on the plane to Indian Wells after this.
Yeah, that too. Are they flying right out tonight?
Yes.
Okay. Can I get on the Fowler G6 next week when we go out there? Is that, you got any room for me?
Looking forward to Indian Wells. And we'll talk about the draw, which had just come out. Federer potentially meeting Seppi, the guy who took him out in the 3rd round from Australia, in that same round at Indian Wells. That's the one loss this year for Roger. Wow, Dimitrov up 5-1 after 15 minutes here at Madison Square Garden. Looking at the projected quarterfinals, so the BNP Paribas Open. Djokovic and Federer in that quarter, Murray and Nishikori. Rafa has a pretty good draw, doesn't face big servers until potentially Raonic in the quarters, and the all-Swiss quarter if they can make it that far.
I was interested by the All-American matchup there. Marty Fish making his return to singles play. He'll play Ryan Harrison.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Although Roger plays a bunch of these exhibitions where you can command a 7-figure fee, he's not all that comfortable with the idea of playing a match where it's not, full-on competitive tension, needing to win to stay in a tournament. Even for him, he says it still feels a little funny.
It's a different sort of feel to it, where you obviously you want to play to win, and the guys do, but you're not looking to get a 6-1, 6-1 scoreline, which is looking like what we might have in this first set.
Well, this is proof that these things aren't scripted, because no one in here expected or necessarily wanted, other than Grigor, this kind of scoreline in the first set.
That's nicely done there. Not quite as easy as Federer makes it look, as that ball stays pretty low on this indoor court, but he gets up to it quickly. Brings that ball up and down. An unbelievable acceleration in that hand, that wrist. No, that's not good.
Federer holds, but Dimitrov with a 2-break cushion will serve for the first set. surprising start here. Roger Federer used to dominating with the serve when he faces Dimitrov, dictating with the forehand, hitting back behind Grigor often. That hasn't happened tonight. Big hitting from Dimitrov. A couple of breaks of Federer's serve, and it's been Grigor dominant with his serve.
Yeah, this happened quickly. It's just 19 minutes, and Federer in a little bit of shock, but trying to find his rhythm now. It's going to go long. Good low volley pickup there from Grigor. I remember seeing this kid, Chris, it must have been about 7 years ago at the U.S. Open Juniors, watching him play. And not many, unlike buddy Brad Gilbert, who predicts pretty much every great junior is going to be top 10. I said, when I saw him play, I said, this guy for sure is a top 5 player. He hasn't gotten there yet. And it's actually taken him a bit longer than I thought it would, but that may be just the trend of the way the men's game has gone. Certainly in the last decade or so, it's proven to be harder for these young guys, teenagers, to really break through and become a legitimate top player.
But you'd say at 23 now, it's about time.
It's about time. I think this year and next year are huge for him. You got to start to wonder as you look at some of the actual teenagers coming up now, Chris, like Kyrgios, like Joric. You know, maybe some of those guys might break through and become the top players.
It's another beautiful approach from Dimitrov.
He's got that versatility off the backhand wing where he can come over it if he's got a little time, and especially on this low bouncing indoor court, that slice is nasty.
Gives Federer his first break point of the set.
That's a bomb there. That's where he's beefed up. Delivery. Some cheap points. I think Roger Rashid certainly got that into his head that, hey, you're a tall guy, 6'3". Bring some gas. And off speeder there, fooled Federer. It's way out in front of that.
Dimitrov, after 22 minutes, has a set point. Stunning opening set for the folks here in the Garden, and for the guy in the orange shirt, for that matter. Dimitrov takes it 6-2. Will this be the year that he can crash the door? You talked about the early stages of his career, Patrick, when he did arrive with so much potential, but this guy really struggled in majors. He's played 18 majors. In 10 of them, he lost in the first or the second round. In 12 of the first 13, he got sent out early. You go 10 majors in a row without getting to the third round, you begin to wonder when it's going to happen. But last year, the breakthrough quarters in Melbourne and the semis at Wimbledon.
Well, I think what he's lacked, and obviously he's worked on the physical part of it. His performance has elevated, certainly, but what he's lacked is that what I call meat and potatoes tennis, Chris, that wins you a lot of points in the same way and pretty routinely. Big serve, big serve, big forehand. Obviously, that's fairly common in the men's game now. Sometimes when you have so many weapons in your game and so much variety, it can take a little bit longer to sort of figure out, okay, what You know, I don't have to make it look pretty and beautiful every time to win points. It took Federer a while to learn that. You know, when Federer first came on in his teens and even in his early 20s, you know, he actually played a more aggressive attacking style. And then he realized, wait a second, I got to reach back. I'm a great mover. I'm great from the backcourt.
Grigor wants a challenge. He won't be allowed to do that. He thought he could challenge the serve call. By the way, if you'd wondered whether he just wants to put on a show tonight, Grigor wants to win.
Yeah.
Badly. Federer holds to open the second set. The warm-up act was a nostalgia trip for Gabriela Sabatini and Monica Seles 25 years ago. They collided in a 5-set WTA final won by Seles. This was a pro set. Sabatini, who hadn't played at all since 09, won it 8 games to 5.
I'll tell you, she was impressive in this one. Seles showed off some of her ability to take that ball early and hit some winners, but Sabatini just was, she looked incredible out there. She's a couple years older than Seles, but great for them to get back out there. Neither of them had played much for the last couple of years, they said. And when they got the call, they went to the practice courts, and great to see him out there tonight here. Crowd really appreciated it.
Yeah, Gabby's going to be 45 this spring and an avid cyclist and swimmer, so she's in tremendous shape. But 5 years since she picked up a racket.
That's amazing.
She actually served really well. And
yeah.
The serve late in her career, as fans will remember, was sometimes a problem. Serve has not been a problem for Dimitrov so far.
That's just an example there. Roger just not quite timing the ball as well as he would like. Sort of out again, sort of out in front of that return. Beautiful chip approach here. It landed just on the line. Dimitrov actually did pretty well to dip it down low, but Roger had the answer.
Chance for Federer to get a quick break here in the second.
One of the problems, one of the issues for Dimitrov as well, Chris, as you see him make that long run there. He's a little bit taller than Federer, a little bit longer. And I think in some ways he's not quite as compact as Federer is off his ground strokes. And I think that's another reason that has taken him a little bit longer. Bigger swings, his timing can go off maybe a little bit easier. You know, shots like that, that's a high-risk shot, though. And it shouldn't be. It should be a relatively safe, you know, cross-court, get some good height over the net. Another break point. Some of those matches he's lost in majors, you know, the best of 5. You know, his timing, his rhythm, talking about Dimitrov, can go off, and it's hard for him to get it back. That's something you learn with matches and as you tighten up your game.
So somewhat streaky play and also a lack of fitness contributing to some of those losses in the majors.
Early on.
Not trusting his legs.
Right.
That's changing.
And that causes you to make poor decisions. from Dimitrov.
Roger let slip 2 break chances in that game. He's 0 for 3 tonight.
And that's an example of using the slice on defense, but boy, he gets so much behind it, so much on it. It's actually more of an offensive pass.
One of the tough things about trying to make a breakthrough against a Federer, Nadal, 2 all-time greats, and a dominant guy like Djokovic, is not having too much respect for them when you take the court. Rashid feels that Dimitrov maybe still does have too much respect for Federer. He's gotten over that when he takes on Djokovic, Nadal, Murray. But Roger, of course, the aura, still feels like he takes the court down a break.
Could see that.
A lot of guys do.
Yeah.
Visited with Roger 3 games into the opening set. Mary Jo will zip out there and have a word with Grigor after this game. Federer holds it low, and when we come back, Mary Jo will get Dimitrov's thoughts on the proceedings so far.
Congratulations, Monique Soria. You won an exciting weekend getaway stay at the iconic J.W. Mary
Strong start for the underdog, but let's get Dimitrov's thoughts so far with Mary Jo.
Grigor, terrific start. First set playing so well. You broke Roger twice. What has been the key against Roger tonight?
Well, I was definitely making more returns. I mean, I'm making more returns. I'm making him play. And, I mean, I take the initiative of each point. So, I mean, that helps a lot. Regardless, it doesn't matter if it's Roger or whoever on the other side. But, you know, overall, it's been a great experience for me so far. And I'm so happy to be out here.
Talk a little bit about being at the Garden for the very first time. Your parents are here. How special is it?
Yeah, the whole crew is here. In a way, my parents are. I'm really happy that they're out here so they can see that live. And I always have good memories out here in New York. I won the juniors and had a couple of good results at the US Open. And now to be part of that venue means just a lot to me.
Okay, now finishing up the second set, what will be important for you to stay ahead of Roger?
Well, I need to try to stay a little focused in the same time, but you know, it's just got to do what I do right so far. So if I keep doing that, we'll be good.
All right, well, you're looking great. Good luck.
Thanks, appreciate that. Thanks,
Chris.
Of course, this doesn't count as an official match, but Grigor doesn't have a win, Patrick, against the top 10 player since beating Murray at Wimbledon. He lost 7 in a row. So again, off the massive deflating third set 6-love against Harrison in Acapulco, with Indian Wells Miami coming up. Certainly you can gain some confidence playing this well.
Absolutely. To play like in this big a stage, to play well is going to help him. There's no question about it. And I think that's going to turn around pretty quickly. And again, as streaky as he has been on the negative, he can also get hot quickly. And I think he gets the confidence going. Look out.
Look out in the front row. Is that shank?
You always got to be ready out there. explosive there.
Andrew's having a conversation with some of the folks. Of course, that's part of the fun of an exhibition. Dimitrov just asked for the score. Come on from Federer in a fist bump as he tries to bring the crowd in even more. For those who studied the history of these kinds of matches, it would be very surprising. This was an easy set for Dimitrov.
Me for Roger.
No, for Dimitrov.
Oh, that would be surprising, yeah. Missed it.
Gives Federer a great chance. Hasn't been able to grab his first three so far tonight. Dimitrov was on the run right from that chip return, wasn't he?
Not only did he hit that chip return low, but what really worked there, Chris, is hit it short. And then that allowed him to get on top of the point right away. And he's got a little breathing room here.
First break of the night. Something you won't see.
That'll get him
ATP match.
Wow. A little bit of speed there, and a lot of speed here.
That was a great tweener.
Yeah. Look at that.
Crowd cheering the replay almost as loudly as the point.
Footwork starting to kick into gear now for Federer. Looking at the mark.
Just a bit long.
No, it's just out.
Most entertaining of the match so far. 4-1 Federer. Federer down a set, but up a break here in the second. Back to Mary Jo with a couple special guests.
Thanks, Chris. With the president of the USTA, Katrina Adams. Katrina, I know one thing that's important to you is to get the children involved and started in tennis. How important is it for them to have fun the first time they pick up a racket?
Oh my goodness, it's so important for these kids to have fun, and that's why we have the 36-foot courts and the 60-foot courts. Smaller, the smaller rackets, bigger balls. They can go out and have fun and keep the ball in play.
And what about the parents? What kind of role can they play in introducing the sport of tennis to their children?
Well, I think the parents can go out and play with the kids on any court, on any surface, in their driveway, in the cul-de-sac, wherever they want to put that court down. But they can have fun with their kids, too, and learn the sport at the same time.
What do you think about this great day, the 8th year here at the Showdown, World Tennis Day? How is that going to inspire youngsters to come and play the game?
Well, this is amazing. I mean, World Tennis Day here at the Garden, I mean, what more can you have or expect? We've got Roger Federer on the court with Sabatini and Sellis out there earlier. Hopefully they're inspiring the young kids to want to come out and learn the sport of tennis.
Did it make you feel like you wanted to get out there and play again?
Absolutely. You know, with Gabby and Monica, they're my contemporaries, so I would have enjoyed to be out there with them.
All right. Thanks, Katrina.
Thank you.
Chris?
Yes, thank you, Katrina. YouthTennis.com is the place to learn about one of the USTA events in your area. As the celebration of World Tennis Day really continues throughout the month of March. Your young daughters,
yeah,
excellent tennis players.
Having fun. As Katrina said, that's #1. Learned with the red and orange balls and then onto the green, and it's fun to play and get some competition and right time.
Beautiful return.
Federer in full flight now with Dimitrov on the defensive. And plenty of room up the line.
Roger's showing some soccer skills. He was certainly disappointed earlier today. His soccer team, FC Basel, is in the Champions League, dusted today by Porto, so they're knocked out of the competition. Aggregate score. He's into it, very into it.
He was a great, very good soccer player as a kid.
Drop shot return sets it up. Beginning to toy with Dimitrov now.
Dimitrov was a little surprised by the backspin on this ball, and he had to lunge for it at the last second. Thought it was going to be a pretty routine shot.
Apparently will be even more lopsided than the first, as Federer will now serve for it. Dimitrov has won just 11 points in the set.
Is this best of 5 or is it best of 3?
I think you know the answer.
Yeah, okay.
Clearly a different vibe than a regular match, but this is a taste of what you're talking about. Is Dimitrov's play is going way down in this set. 3 set points for Federer.
Oh. 2 sets in 46 minutes, Chris.
Going the distance at the Garden of the BNP Paribas Showdown, 1 set apiece.
The 2015 BNP Paribas Showdown is brought to you by BNP Paribas, the bank for a changing world. And Rolex, the official timekeeper of the BNP Paribas Showdown.
Third set coming up here in New York, but let's hear what both players think about the first 2 sets. Mary Jo again.
Very cozy down here courtside. Chris and Patrick. Grigor, first time in the Garden. You started off on fire. What has been the experience like for you playing in front of this New York crowd?
Gosh, I love New York. What can I say? It's honestly, it's been amazing to. To be part and still am. I mean, this is set all, so it's come. I mean,
you're still in it.
This is very, very, very unusual situation, and I'm more than thrilled. I'm excited, and I'm enjoying it a lot.
And Roger, New York's been good to you through the years. You won 5 U.S. Opens. Can you talk about the Flushing Meadow crowd and the Madison Square Garden crowd?
I can, absolutely can. It's my 3rd time at the Garden, and every time has been special. Tonight again, so thanks for coming out and supporting tennis and making it cool, really. Flushing Meadow clearly is a longer event. It happens over 2-3 weeks. It's been happening for so many years, and I think there's a similar crowd from here also to Flushing Meadows. Guys, you can come to both events, so thank you very much, and can look forward to come back in September.
You guys are both amazing shot makers, and I think the highlight for a lot of us watching has been the back-to-back tweeners. You didn't want to let Grigor have his own showtime, did you?
No. I wasn't looking very good there for a second, and he hit the perfect lob, because normally, in my opinion, you hit the tweener hard, but he got me and faked me out, and I poached the net too close, and then he should put the volley away, but I guess he panicked maybe a little bit, and I can only say thank you very much. So it was good fun anyway.
Is he playing mind games with you going into the 3rd set?
Well, obviously, come on. Can it be more obvious than that? No, I think you shouldn't have hit that twinner so hard. I started laughing after it, so I couldn't really focus to put the ball in the court again.
All right, well, it's time to refocus, boys, all right? Let's see a great 3rd set.
Let's do it.
All right, let's get it on.
Dimitrov had to remind himself. I usually do interviews when the match is over. We've got a set to play here.
One to go here. Kind of like this XO thing.
Dimitrov will serve to begin this final set. try to get back to the tennis he was playing in the first set.
Right, so the warm-up sets are over. So now we can, we can both go. Let's all go full out here. One set. The third set, by the way, has already been 5 minutes, Chris. We haven't hit a ball. It's been 5 minutes. We have Mary Jo to thank for that. Oh, yes.
Would you agree that, like Federer to some degree, Dimitrov has so many shots that sometimes choosing the right one has been a problem for him?
Absolutely. No doubt.
Because you don't want to have to think out there too much, right? You want it to sort of be instinctive or second nature, but he has so many options.
Well, you want to be able to play the base on the big, tennis is about success on the important points. The 30 all points, 40-30 points. When you're serving at 15-30, what's the shot you want to hit on that point? And the great players find a way of hitting their best shots when they really need it.
That's a great point. You think of how Nadal and Djokovic and Federer have won all those titles. The clarity and the simplicity makes it easier in those big moments.
It does. That's one of the reasons for Nadal's success, particularly against Federer over their career.
Well, championship week continues Wednesday here on ESPN2. Second round coverage of the ACC tournament. New York Life bringing you coverage beginning at 7 o'clock Eastern. Doubleheader continues at 9. Part of championship week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Virginia positioned as #1 seed in the NCAA tournament.
Kentucky, Virginia, who else? We got Arizona potentially. What about the Zags?
Yeah.
They sneak in #1.
They get support. Two tennis balls for Federer here.
Dimitrov had a whole lot of room up the line, but just missed it.
And a smile who holds for 1-all.
Well, it stopped there. Not so much backspin. Dimitrov can cover some territory. Look at that. He's got a gymnast. Federer shows that he can cover some ground as well. Guillermo Vilas would be proud of that one. Vilas would rather hit a backhand overhead than a regular overhead in his prime. It's hard for you not to get up for this.
He got it to the last minute, didn't decoy him with the cross court.
Uh-oh, look out.
Both guys have missed the leaving smash tonight. Dimitrov now finds himself in a above 40 hole.
Giving them their money's worth. Put that game in the highlight reel.
Tennis fans, it's time now for BNP Paribas Showdown Tennis Trivia. Let's go down to Dimitrov, who is with tonight.
Roger going to have just one tennis wish for 2015. It would be to win an 8th Wimbledon title. 2014, no majors, 3 titles. Did help Switzerland to its first ever Davis Cup triumph, which is something he had not done and was a big moment in his career. 2 titles already this year, but the one disappointing 3rd round loss at the first major of the year to Seppi. Would head to Roland Garros, in your view, as the 3rd choice?
At Roland Garros? Yeah. I'm not sure I'd put him that high at this point on clay. Obviously, for many years, he was number 2, solidly number 2. He'd be a distant 3rd on clay, if that. There's a lot of guys I could pick him off on, I believe, the red clay. Obviously, on grass, it's a whole different story. remarkably consistent as well last year. That's why he finished 2 in the world. I mean, you have to do it year after year in tennis. You know, it's not the same ranking system as it is in golf, where you do it over a couple of years. You got to do it every year. That's, to me, the most remarkable thing about what he was able to do last year. To win that many matches, most wins of anyone on tour last year.
Grigor loved the challenge. Convinced the serve was long.
He says some of the fans called it out, so does that count? He said, okay, give me a second, sir. Roger says, what?
Sorry?
Huge forehand there. So deadly is Dimitrov when he does have a little bit of time to set up those long swings, and that's what he had here. Just uncoiled into that. That's good.
Describe what Dimitrov did in the middle of that point.
It's impossible.
I thought Federer's lob was going to hit the scoreboard.
I thought it did, actually. From our angle, we're up so high.
Was that going to be a leaping tweener? Well, remember it was 40-15, and there was that little kind of a gift on the call.
Yeah.
Now it's break point.
Boys are getting a good workout now. That's a terrific volley there from Federer. Ball came right at him, but he just sort of went with it. Strong wrists, firm volley.
Justice that he wins that game, because it was 40-15 and Grigor kind of coaxed a fault call out of him.
Roger says, I'll take it. What a year he had last year. 73-12. 5 titles, 6 other finals. Or is that 6-time finalists include the Wimbledon final that he lost? Yeah. 17-5 against the top 10. Remember, he really has struggled the year before that against top 10 players.
That's a huge number of top 10 wins in a year.
For him, it was, you know, it was okay. He didn't win a major, so. Obviously, as you said earlier, Chris, winning the Davis Cup was one of his lifetime goals, and he got that done.
He told me among his goals this year, besides, of course, another major, trying to get to #1, taking that ranking away from Djokovic, difficult.
That would be amazing if he could do that.
Grigor, there's no
Grigor's
call
calling it out when Rogers laughing.
Jay Snyder's in the chair. Grigor making a plea for an overrule.
Rogers just in hysterics, laughing back there. That's
in the Garden, Federer's going to get this call. It did look wide in that replay.
Rogers says, well, it looked good.
Both players just watch the replay. He's asking for a crowd vote.
Let's see it one more time here. Come on.
Grigor says, I rest my case.
Oh, come on, I might have caught.
Unofficial Hawkeye replay.
Right.
Roger wants Snyder to explain actually what the score is.
Yeah.
He's called it 30-15.
Well, it was 30 love, right?
Now a chance for Federer to stretch his lead here, go up a couple of breaks in the final set. Getting up to that one. Another break point.
Interesting play from Federer tonight. It's actually fairly effective because the ball stays so low on this court.
Kind of a drop shot return.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly what it is.
So Federer doesn't grab a second break, but still leads 3-2.
Your help will improve those options. Grants and scholarships, USTA Foundation supports a national network of programs that bring tennis and education together. A powerful combination that helps under-resourced youth live healthy, productive lives. Help us serve other change. Donate today. Please visit USDAFoundation.com.
We know you have to love this part of the tennis calendar. Back-to-back Masters 1000 events on American hard courts. Our coverage of the BNP Paribas Open in Indian Wells begins Thursday, March 19th. We saw Serena Williams in the promo, and that, of course, is the major story in the women's side in Indian Wells. Back for the first time since 2001. Projected to meet the lefty Makarova in the quarterfinals is Serena, Halep, and Radwanska in that half of the draw. Bouchard, Wozniacki. Sharapova could meet Azarenka in the third round at Indian Wells.
Azarenka with a new coach.
Vika back seated, but just seated 32nd. Yes, Sasha, the former hitting partner of Serena, working with her now.
A lot of changes in the coaching camps for some top women.
Mentioned earlier that Federer could face Seppi, the man who stunned him at the Australian Open in the third round. Indian Wells.
Uh-oh, we got a challenge here for Roger.
Grigor will pass the baton here to a young guy here.
Looks like he's ready to go. Oh, look at this. Wow, stepped in the Nadal forehand. Roger's freaked out.
And he hit the pass.
Yeah. Oh.
Lobs him.
He's got it.
It's a ringer. A 3-foot-tall ringer.
Look at this.
Whatever he does in his life on a court, he lobbed over Federer's head for a winner.
Clean winner. Here it comes. That was great. That changes. So what's that make it love 30?
Grigor wants the point.
Yeah.
And giving the point to Federer.
Count that point.
Just missed. Just ask Roger the score. Ask him.
It is up 30. Forget that young guy's name.
Yeah.
Not unusual to bring a youngster out of the crowd, or a special guest. There's Marion Bartoli came out of the crowd.
That's right.
To face Murray last year. Djokovic passed the racket to her. The crowd here wasn't sure who she was, to be honest with you.
Initially, no.
Yeah.
Ship stays low. Federer goes back behind him, but it just take one big step and at full stretch, come up with that.
And then Federer. Good thing for Dimitrov going forward is he's got his head right in terms of the racket. For a couple of tournaments, Rotterdam and Acapulco, he went away from this Wilson racket. They've now done a new deal, and so that's an important piece to be in place.
Yeah, that's a huge piece.
They do not use identical frames. They're pretty close Wilson frames, but the thickness of the frame is a little different. The string pattern's different. But both, of course, made that move to a larger frame. Grigor had one of the smaller frames in the tour for a long time.
All of a sudden, chance to get back on serve here.
That's too good. So Dimitrov, with an assist from a lob winner from his special guest, does get the break. 3-all.
That's just some brilliant shot making. Roger takes that right off the bounce, left it hanging in the middle of the court.
You said it earlier, he makes that look easy.
Yeah.
It's not on a low bouncing court.
So many keys to hitting that shot well, Chris. Number one is seeing the ball, reacting to it so you move up to the ball early, and then obviously timing it, getting under the ball. The earlier you can make contact, obviously the higher the ball will be. So that means that's so important, how quickly you react to that. And then, of course, executing the shot. And there's so many things, little things that have to go just right.
It's a beautiful low volley from Dimitrov.
I think that could be more part of his meat and potatoes type of game, Chris, because he is so athletic and so good with his hands to come in, finish more points at the net.
Dimitrov forging in front on serve, final set in New York. Here we'll be playing an event in Istanbul on clay. They're showing fans kissing the
love cam.
Roger's getting the kick. I think he's blushing. You can't watch. But he's going to play an event in Turkey, someplace that he's never been before. He played in India, the exhibition at the end of 2014, and part of it is, you know, traveling the world and seeing places, having experiences as a player that he hasn't yet collected.
He's trying to find things to keep himself interested, although I think the biggest thing that keeps him interested are those little balls in his hand. He loves to play. We were out there earlier today, Chris, watching him warm up with, you know, a scattering of people here at the Garden, and he just enjoys it. He loves to hit tennis balls. And obviously, he loves all that goes along with being Roger Federer as well. He's embraced that part of it, you know, the ambassador for the sport, the adulation, the fact that everybody knows who he is, where he goes, but he enjoys it.
to take an injection to kill pain or anti-inflammatory injection in his career, which is certainly something he's happy about, a big reason why he's been able to be so successful, staying healthy.
Yeah. His off-court training regimen is they're all out, Roger said. Dimitrov making a push here. It's almost down double break in this final set now.
He accused Federer of mind games in a joking way after the second set. He played some mind games a couple of games ago. Yeah, it was low 15. He got the kid to come out of the crowd and sort of loosen things up, and ended up getting the break eventually in that game. Yesterday, retirement. His response was interesting.
Be the saddest day in the history of tennis for a lot of your fans.
No, it won't. No, it should be a celebration rather than like, oh no, you know, and people should be happy I'm like finally gone, you know. But no, I mean, have I thought about it? Maybe, you know, I've had a vision of maybe how it could look like, but then I don't know where it's going to be, when it's going to be, so it's still very vague, you know, and I really don't think about it a whole lot, but I hope that I'm also more happy than sad when that moment would come around.
Oh, he'll be a mess that day.
So all those Federer fans.
Roger is emotional about a lot of things, big occasions in his life. There's no way, whenever that sad day comes for fans everywhere, that he'll be able to hold it together.
No, you wouldn't think so. I mean, certainly you'd think that he's played through this year and next year at the minimum.
There's no one suggesting.
No.
But you have to start visualizing at some point. It's just human nature if you're him.
Approaching 34. Still obviously playing incredible tennis.
Never been a more popular player in the sport globally.
No.
Almost a circus pickup from Dimitrov.
Roger hit that volley so hard. Watch this. Dimitrov just sort of ran right to it. Almost controlled it. Kept it in.
Federer climbing back in this game now. Back to deuce.
Yeah.
The moments in an exhibition to have some fun, and that was one of those meat and potatoes points.
Yeah.
Is able to hold, and a must hold for Federer coming up. Dimitrov break away from getting an unofficial win over Federer for the first time.
He'd take that. No question. You see the update. This third set's been really terrific tennis. Federer's been up to net 17 times. Expect him to venture up there a few more times.
Weird stat is that Rogers only won 50% of his first serve points, and he's won a big percentage of his second serve.
He's so good, man. They just take the ball so early and time it beautifully.
These guys have done a fair amount of sprinting.
They sure have.
Roger at a wide serve could use a quick point or two.
Serving to stay in the match. Well-placed serves and knock off the forehand winner.
7 years ago, Roger in his prime, and Pete Sampras, about 5 years into his retirement, played a final set tiebreak on this court, won by Roger after Pete had served for that match. Could be headed for a third set breaker here.
Dimitrov serving here with new balls. That ball just skipped right off the line. Well, this set's already been longer than the first two sets combined.
If you include Mary Jo's pre-set interview.
If you include that, it's not quite there.
Swinging volley anyway. We'll see if Roger can force a tiebreak next. It's our BNP Paribas shots, plural, of the day. The back-to-back tweeners, some of the fun we've seen tonight from these two guys.
Roger really had to get on his horse for this one.
And a little gift there from Grigor at the end.
Roger's like, okay, he's giving me this one. I got to make this happen here.
That's a great lob, and then Dimitrov claims he was so shocked that that came back so quickly that he panicked. More of the shot making we expected. I don't know what that was.
I'm not sure. That one I haven't seen too much of. I don't think that's going to become as popular as the tweener. Something tells me no. But for tonight, we like it.
What a return from Dimitrov. He stabbed at it, and Federer was coming forward. Federer in another must-hold to stay in this and force a final set tiebreak. Grigor's going all out now. Wow.
He launched that one. That's 30.
See Roger get very serious all of a sudden?
Yeah. He's got it.
Dimitrov, another effective return, creates a couple of match points. He framed it.
He was sort of forced to come in there because he was already moving forward.
Still match point.
Missed it by a mile. Oh, that's it.
And that miss it gives Dimitrov the win. Not official, of course, but the first time that he's walked off the court, the winner against Federer. Plenty of smiles, some really entertaining shot making, and a very good show tonight here at the Garden.
Absolutely, and Dimitrov will be real happy with obviously the win, but just the way he performed out here and gave the crowd plenty to enjoy in this one. And of course, Roger, well, he's the master.
Yeah, the final verdict is not that enjoyable. The crowd definitely well behind Roger, but Grigor needing, he said, a good performance heading to Indian Wells, gets it tonight, and Mary Jo will visit with both the players. Dimitrov takes it 7-5 in the third.
Very entertaining third set from both of you. Roger, it seemed like the secret weapon kind of affected your concentration there when Grigor brought out that young boy.
That was the turnaround. Really, actually thinking back now, it's true. He made the difference, because maybe it would go 15-all, it'd be a different story, but he came up with the lob, and that was it. And it was in, and the rest is history.
Kind of sneaky by you, I think, Grigor. We didn't know you had that in you.
Very sneaky, right? I didn't know that either. It was amazing. Yeah, I mean, it's just been a great experience overall. Honestly, it's been a tremendous to play in front of you guys. Thank you so much. And let's not forget, you know, it's just an unbelievable honor, and it was absolute fun to play against Roger tonight.
And now looking ahead, North America Series, Indian Wells, Miami. How much does a match like this get you ready for those?
And it's a match. I mean, you got to be ready. So you have to go through all the routines, you know, warm up, stretchings, and all that kind of stuff to keep your body going. And now, yeah, one of the biggest tournaments is around the corner. I mean, I think we both are really excited to get out there and play our best tennis. So I think that's the next step.
And Roger, finally, New York, third time in the Garden. You could tell you guys were having so much fun. What does it mean to you to play these kind of events?
Honestly, I love them a lot. I've played in many places around the world, and it's an absolute privilege playing in an arena like this in front of people like you guys. So it really keeps me going, really, to have this honor to come out and play. Thanks, Grigor, for playing against me. Thanks for beating me today. I got some work to do this coming days, but I'm looking forward to the year, and it's been a wonderful experience yet again, so I hope I can come back one day.
All right, well, that was wonderful. Everybody really enjoyed it. Best of luck next week.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Chris?
Mary Jo both acknowledged the turning point in this final set was when young Harrison Lerner came off the bench and hit this beautiful lob winner over Federer's head and just inside the baseline.
He mesmerized Roger with that shot. Look at him. And that did it.
Harrison gave Dimitrov a low 30 lead in the game. Eventually he got the break.
Can he get a percentage of his fee for tonight? Maybe have to work on that. Buy a couple ice cream sandwiches.
We enjoyed this tonight, and now it's off to the desert in Indian Wells and our coverage for week 2, which should be a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, looking forward to that out in the desert, and then we'll continue on to Miami. So a great month of tennis ahead of us here at ESPN.
The doubleheader, first match went Sabatini, 8-5 over Celis in the pro set. And here in the nightcap, Grigor Dimitrov turns around fortunes of this match by winning it 7-5 in the third. Wednesday, 2 o'clock Eastern, our coverage will begin on March 19th from Indian Wells. And we invite you to join us for the BNP Paribas Open. For Mary Jo Fernandez and Patrick McEnroe and our entire tennis team tonight, Madison Square Garden. Thanks for joining us on World Tennis Day, and we'll see you from the desert next week.